911, what's your emergency? My daughter's been missing for the last 31 days.
But I'm still defending the fact that I didn't hurt her.
I loved my daughter. I would never hurt her. Casey Anthony, 2011.
Mr. Griffin, I didn't shoot my wife or my son anytime. Ever.
I did not kill my wife and son. Alex Murdaugh, 2023. Different people, different decades. But both standing before a courtroom, faced a nation that no longer knew how to tell the difference between truth and performance. Two families torn apart by death, deceit, and a haunting question that still divides millions. What happens when the accused becomes the storyteller, and everyone else becomes the audience? Part 1. The perfect murder that wasn't. The Casey Anthony case. In the summer of 2008, Orlando, Florida felt ordinary, the kind of place where tragedy shouldn't exist. But inside a quiet suburban home, a young mother named Casey Anthony, then just 22 years old, was hiding a secret so large it would soon dominate every headline in America. Her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee Marie Anthony, was missing. For 31 days, Casey told no one. Not her family, not the police. She smiled in photos, went clubbing, got a Bella Vita, beautiful life, tattoo on her shoulder. All while Kaylee was gone. On July 15, 2008, Casey's mother, Cindy Anthony, made the call that changed everything. "It smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car," she told the 911 operator. The police found Casey's Pontiac Sunfire. Inside, traces of chloroform, strands of Kaylee's hair, and a decomposing odor forensic specialists said was unmistakable. When questioned, Casey told a story that began to unravel immediately. She said she left Kaylee with a nanny named Zanny. No such person existed.
The last person that I saw her with is Zenaida.
It's not the truth, because I went to the apartment complex. There's no person that ever lived there by that name. The apartment's been vacant since March.
She claimed she worked at Universal Studios. Detectives walked her through the offices until she stopped, turned around, and quietly admitted, "I don't work here." "I know what I've done," she whispered in an interrogation clip, "and I'm okay with it." The real clip can be inserted here for dramatic pause. Soon, the missing persons case became a murder investigation. In December 2008, a utility worker discovered a small trash bag near the Anthony home. Inside were the skeletal remains of Kaylee Marie, wrapped in a Winnie the Pooh blanket, with duct tape across the skull. The nation was horrified. Prosecutors painted Casey as the most cold-blooded of killers, a young woman who killed her daughter so she could return to a carefree life of boyfriends, parties, and freedom. The motive, they said, was inconvenience. Her defense attorney, Jose Baez, countered with a shocking theory. Kaylee had accidentally drowned in the family pool. Casey's father, George Anthony, panicked and helped hide the body. And Casey's lies? They weren't the lies of guilt. They were the scars of lifelong trauma. Baez claimed George had sexually abused Casey as a child, teaching her to hide pain behind smiles. The courtroom fell silent. Baez looked directly at the jury and said, "You cannot judge someone until you've walked a mile in their lies." The trial lasted 6 weeks. Forensic experts argued over air samples and Google searches for chloroform. Neighbors testified about the smell. And every day, Casey sat still, unemotional, unbroken, almost rehearsed. On July 5, 2011, the verdict came. Not guilty of murder, not guilty of manslaughter, only guilty of lying to police. Casey Anthony walked free. The courtroom gasped. Outside, the crowd screamed. America was divided between two beliefs: that she was a monster who beat the system, or a victim of a prosecution built on assumption. Today, Casey still maintains her innocence. "I sleep fine at night," she told a 2022 Peacock documentary. "I know what I did and didn't do." But the public never forgave her. In the court of law, she was innocent. In the court of public opinion, she was never absolved. And that brings us to another courtroom. A different time, a different crime, but a familiar mask. Part 2. The Lawyer Who Killed. The Alex Murdaugh Case. June 7, 2021. Moselle, South Carolina. a frantic 911 call pierces the night. "My wife and son have been shot badly." The voice on the phone.
This is Alex Murdaugh. My wife and child have been shot badly.
Richard Alex Murdaugh, a prominent attorney from one of South Carolina's most powerful legal families. For nearly a century, the Murdaughs had been kings of the Lowcountry. 3 generations served as solicitors, prosecutors, shaping law and politics across 5 counties. Their name carried weight, influence, fear. But behind the legacy was a man living on borrowed time. By the time of that call, Alex Murdaugh was drowning in secrets, millions of dollars in debt, years of fraud, and the crumbling facade of Southern respectability. When police arrived at the family's 1,770-acre estate, they found Margaret, Maggie Murdaugh, 52, and their youngest son Paul, 22, shot to death near the dog kennels. 2 guns, no signs of forced entry. And Alex, the only person left alive. "They didn't suffer," he told investigators. "Whoever did this, they did it so fast." But investigators soon found surveillance footage that contradicted him. Minutes before the murders, Paul recorded a video at the kennels, and Alex's voice could be heard in the background. He had claimed he wasn't there. The video proved otherwise.
This is your wife and son?
And son.
Okay.
I knew it was really bad.
For months, Alex played the grieving father, the victim of an unspeakable crime. He even survived a mysterious roadside shooting that he later admitted was a staged attempt to have himself killed, so his surviving son, Buster, could collect a $10 million insurance payout. The illusion of control was collapsing. In July 2022, Alex was indicted for the murders of Maggie and Paul. The trial began in January 2023, drawing global attention. The prosecution alleged a clear motive. Alex had been stealing millions from his law firm and clients. That very week, his financial crimes were about to be exposed. So, they argued, he murdered his wife and son to create chaos, to buy sympathy and time. "I didn't shoot my wife or my son, ever."
Mr. Griffin, I didn't shoot my wife or my son anytime. Ever.
Alex said this on the stand, his voice cracking. For hours he wept, told stories, looked directly at jurors, a performance so convincing that even seasoned observers couldn't tell where truth ended and strategy began. But digital evidence didn't cry. It didn't lie. Paul's final cell phone video placed Alex at the scene just 5 minutes before the murders. Gunshot residue was found on his clothes, and forensic timelines destroyed his alibi. After 6 weeks of testimony and 75 witnesses, the jury took less than 3 hours to decide. On March 2, 2023, Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of the murders of Maggie and Paul. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms without parole. "I would never hurt my wife and my child," he said quietly as the judge stared down at him. But this time, the mask had cracked beyond repair. Part 3. The Paradox of Innocence. 2 people. 2 trials. One found guilty. One set free. Both hauntingly similar in their power to divide a nation. Casey Anthony, a young mother painted as a monster but never proven one. Alex Murdaugh, a man who embodied justice until it came for him. Both cases reveal something terrifying about us. Our obsession with narrative over truth. We want villains who look guilty. We want heroes who look innocent. But reality doesn't care about appearances. As a journalist once said during the Murdaugh trial, everyone in that courtroom was performing. Some for freedom, some for forgiveness, some for the camera. The Anthony case shattered faith in the jury system. The Murdaugh trial shattered faith in privilege. And together, they exposed a deeper question. How do we decide who deserves to be believed? Is it evidence or emotion? Tears or timing? A lie repeated often enough? Or a truth spoken too late? Casey Anthony's story ends in silence. A quiet life, rare interviews, and a reputation forever stained. Alex Murdaugh's story ends in prison. but his shadow still stretches across every courthouse that mistook confidence for credibility. Both remind us that in the age of televised trials and viral opinions, justice has become theater, and the truth, just another audience member. Sometimes, the most dangerous lies aren't the ones we tell others. They're the ones we tell ourselves. Casey told herself she could hide the truth. Alex told himself he could outsmart it. But in the end, both were trapped by the same illusion. That innocence isn't what you prove. It's what you perform. If this story left you questioning what truth really means inside a courtroom, you're not alone.